They promised it was better than sugar, 0 calories, no spike in blood sugar, sweet satisfaction without the guilt. But what if that little pink or yellow packet was never meant for your brain? If you're over 60, your brain is more sensitive than ever to chemicals, to additives, to anything that interferes with your natural balance. And yet, many older adults are turning to artificial sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, or saccharin, thinking it's the healthier choice. But science is painting a very different picture. Artificial sweeteners may not just be harmless substitutes. They can act like silent disruptors, interfering with neurotransmitters, confusing your hunger signals, triggering anxiety, headaches, and even memory lapses. In this video, we'll uncover the hidden effects of artificial sweeteners on the aging brain. You'll learn why they can increase your risk of insomnia, brain fog, and even early cognitive decline. We'll explore what the latest research says about how these sweeteners alter brain chemistry, gut-brain signaling, and your overall sense of well-being, and we'll show you healthier alternatives backed by science that protect your brain instead of putting it at risk. So if you've been using diet soda, sugar-free gum, low-calorie desserts, or even chewing artificial sweeteners daily, you need to hear this, because the truth about artificial sweeteners might be much darker than you think. Let's dive in. Artificial sweeteners may taste sweet, but your brain knows better. Unlike natural sugar, these synthetic compounds don't provide energy, yet they still activate the sweet taste receptors on your tongue. That signal is then sent to your brain, expecting a reward, but when no glucose follows, your brain feels confused, and that confusion triggers a series of reactions. The brain starts to question its own hunger and fullness signals. The hypothalamus, the part of your brain that controls appetite, becomes less responsive. This can lead to more frequent cravings, overeating, or even binge eating behaviors. But it doesn't stop there. Studies show that some artificial sweeteners can disrupt the delicate communication between the gut and the brain. That connection, often called the gut-brain axis, helps regulate mood, focus, and even memory. When sweeteners like aspartame or sucralose interfere with gut bacteria, they may also interfere with serotonin production. That's your feel-good neurotransmitter, which affects mood, sleep, and cognition. A drop in serotonin can lead to anxiety, restlessness, poor sleep, and increased sensitivity to pain. Other research suggests that artificial sweeteners can pass through the blood-brain barrier and affect key areas involved in learning and memory. Some MRI studies show altered activity in the amygdala and prefrontal cortex after consumption of these chemicals. That means even if your blood sugar looks stable, your brain may still be under stress. And in people over 60, that stress can show up as brain fog, short-term memory issues, trouble focusing, or feeling mentally tired after simple tasks. Now, you might think, but if it's FDA approved, isn't it safe? The answer isn't so simple. Many safety tests were done decades ago on younger populations, in low doses, and not in the context of aging brains with existing health conditions like diabetes, high blood pressure, or insomnia. And that's why understanding the real effects on the senior brain is more important than ever. Coming up, we'll look at some of the most common sweeteners, one by one, and how each of them may impact your mood, memory, and mental clarity after 60. Let's take a closer look at the most common artificial sweeteners found in food and drinks today. Because while they all aim to replace sugar, the way they affect your brain can be very different. First up, aspartame. Found in diet sodas, sugar-free yogurt, and low-calorie desserts, aspartame is made from 2 amino acids, phenylalanine and aspartic acid. But in the brain, it behaves like an excitotoxin. That means it can overstimulate nerve cells, leading to headaches, irritability, anxiety, and even seizures in sensitive individuals. Studies have shown that regular aspartame intake may impair memory, especially in older adults. One study, published in the journal Research in Behavioral Neuroscience, found significant spatial memory deficits in rats after chronic aspartame consumption. And if that's happening in animal brains, it raises serious concerns for human brains already facing age decline. Next, sucralose. You might recognize it as the yellow packet, often used in baked goods, protein shakes, and coffee creamers. Sucralose was originally discovered as a pesticide, and though it's marketed as calorie-free, research shows it may affect insulin sensitivity and gut bacteria. In the brain, sucralose appears to reduce blood flow to certain areas, especially those responsible for reward, memory, and focus. Over time, reduced blood flow to these regions could contribute to brain fatigue, mood swings, and poor concentration, especially for older adults dealing with mild cognitive impairment. Then there's saccharin, the pink packet. It's been used for decades and was once linked to cancer in lab rats, though later deemed safe in humans. Still, saccharin is not absorbed by the body, and it can disrupt gut bacteria in ways that affect the brain indirectly. Gut imbalance leads to inflammation, and inflammation is now known to be a driver of neurodegeneration, the slow breakdown of brain function over time. And don't forget blends. Many sugar-free products contain a mix of these chemicals, which can compound the effects. Some zero-sugar sodas mix aspartame with acesulfame potassium, another artificial sweetener shown to impair learning behavior in mice. The bottom line: artificial sweeteners may seem small, but they are powerful chemicals, and your brain, especially after 60, may no longer tolerate them the way it used to. Coming up next, we'll talk about how these sweeteners affect sleep, mood, and emotional health in older adults, and why many people over 60 report feeling off after switching to sugar-free products. You've probably heard that sugar can mess with your energy, but what about the artificial versions? For many older adults, the shift to diet products brings unexpected side effects, not just in the body, but in the mind. It often starts with sleep. Artificial sweeteners like aspartame and sucralose have been linked to insomnia, disrupted sleep cycles, and even vivid or disturbing dreams. That's because these chemicals can interfere with neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, which help regulate mood and sleep. After 60, your brain naturally produces less melatonin, the hormone that guides your sleep-wake cycle. When artificial sweeteners disrupt your chemical balance, it becomes even harder to fall asleep or stay asleep. And poor sleep doesn't just leave you tired, it slows down your memory, weakens focus, and makes it harder to manage emotions during the day. Then comes the emotional roller coaster. Many seniors report feeling anxious, edgy, or emotionally flat after using sugar-free products for a while. That's not your imagination. Disrupted serotonin levels can lead to mood swings, sadness, or even depressive symptoms. Some researchers believe that regular use of artificial sweeteners may blunt the brain's natural reward system, so you eat something sweet, but your brain doesn't get the pleasure it expected. Over time, that disconnect can create a feeling of dissatisfaction, like something's missing. And what about brain fog? That strange mental fatigue when you can't quite find the right word or forget what you walked into a room to do. Studies have shown that people consuming artificial sweeteners regularly may experience slower reaction times, decreased working memory, and reduced cognitive flexibility, especially in tasks that require focus or decision-making. Even if your doctor says your blood sugar is fine, your brain might still be struggling. And here's the tricky part: these symptoms are often blamed on aging. So you might think your low energy, forgetfulness, or poor sleep is just part of getting older, when in fact, it could be a reaction to the sweeteners hiding in your healthy choices. Coming up next, we'll reveal where these sweeteners are hiding, even in foods you might not suspect, and how to spot them on labels, so you can start protecting your brain with smarter choices. You might think avoiding artificial sweeteners is as simple as skipping diet soda. But the truth is, these chemicals are hiding in more places than you realize. Manufacturers use dozens of different names for sweeteners and often blend them together in one product. That makes it harder to spot them, especially if your eyesight isn't perfect or the label is written in tiny print. Let's look at where they show up. Sugar-free yogurt, low-calorie salad dressings, ketchup, cough drops, chewing gum, protein shakes, flavored water, toothpaste, mouthwash, even medications like chewable vitamins and antacids. And if the label says things like no sugar added, 0 calories, light, or diet, that's your first clue. But what should you look for on the ingredient list? Common artificial sweeteners include aspartame, sucralose, saccharin, acesulfame potassium, neotame, and advantum. Some are listed under brand names like Equal, Sweeten Low, Splenda, or Sinet. Here's the trick. Companies are not required to highlight these ingredients on the front of the package. They can hide them deep in the ingredient list, sometimes mixed with natural sweeteners like stevia or monk fruit to create the illusion of healthiness. And if you see natural flavors or proprietary blend, be cautious, because sweeteners can be lumped under vague terms that don't tell the full story. Some sugar-free snacks are sweetened with 5 or more different compounds, all designed to trick your taste buds while keeping the calorie count low, but each of those compounds still has to be processed by your brain and nervous system. And for seniors whose detox systems may be slowing down, the burden of processing these chemicals can build up quietly, leading to subtle changes in mood, sleep, and cognition that are hard to trace back to one cause. So what can you do? Start reading labels carefully. Keep a magnifying glass in your kitchen drawer if needed. Look for the ingredients you just learned about, and track how you feel after eating certain sugar-free products. Coming up, we'll explore natural sweeteners and brain-safe alternatives so you can still enjoy the taste you love without the neurological cost. Giving up sweetness doesn't mean giving up pleasure. You just need to find options that nourish your brain instead of confusing it. Let's start with one of the most popular choices, stevia. It's a plant-based sweetener that comes from the leaves of the Stevia rubagiana plant. It doesn't spike your blood sugar, and most importantly, it doesn't appear to disrupt gut bacteria or brain chemistry the way artificial sweeteners do. But be careful. Not all stevia products are created equal. Some brands mix stevia with other sweeteners, including erythritol, dextrose, or even sucralose. Always look for labels that say pure stevia or organic stevia extract. Next, monk fruit. This ancient melon from Southeast Asia has been used for centuries in traditional medicine. Monk fruit extract is about 100 times sweeter than sugar, yet it has no calories, and early studies show it may actually have antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. Many people over 60 who switch to monk fruit say it's easier on their stomach, and they don't experience the crashes or fog they used to get with sugar-free substitutes. Another gentle option, raw honey. Especially in small amounts, raw honey offers enzymes, antioxidants, and a more natural form of sweetness. It's still sugar, but it's not processed the way refined white sugar is. If you use it sparingly and pair it with protein or healthy fat, it won't cause a sharp spike in blood sugar and may actually help soothe inflammation and support brain function. Then there's fruit-based sweetness. Try mashed banana in your oatmeal, blended dates in your smoothies, or applesauce in baked goods. These natural sources contain fiber, vitamins, and phytonutrients that support overall brain health. One more tip, retrain your taste buds. The more artificial sweetness you consume, the less sensitive your tongue becomes to natural flavors. But when you cut back, even for a few weeks, you may find that a ripe peach, a fresh fig, or a few berries taste incredibly sweet on their own. Your brain craves real nourishment, not just empty sweetness. Coming up next, we'll take a look at what the long-term research says, how years of using artificial sweeteners may affect brain aging, memory loss, and even dementia risk after 60. What happens when you use artificial sweeteners for years, not just days or weeks? That's where things get more serious. Recent studies have linked long-term use of artificial sweeteners, especially aspartame and sucralose, to changes in brain structure and function, particularly in areas tied to memory, focus, and emotional regulation. One large study published in the journal Stroke followed over 4,000 older adults for 10 years. It found that people who drank at least one diet soda a day had nearly 3 times the risk of stroke, and almost 3 times the risk of dementia compared to those who didn't. Let that sink in. Diet soda, often thought of as a healthier choice, was associated with a significantly higher risk of both stroke and memory loss. Other research shows that chronic exposure to artificial sweeteners may reduce the volume of the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for memory formation. In aging brains, this kind of shrinkage can mean forgetting names, struggling to learn new things, or even losing pieces of your personal history. And it doesn't take massive amounts. Even moderate daily use, especially over decades, can quietly change the way your brain functions. Artificial sweeteners also seem to increase oxidative stress, a damaging process where harmful molecules accumulate in the brain. This accelerates aging at the cellular level, weakening your neurons and making your brain more vulnerable to diseases like Alzheimer's. And because many older adults also take medications for blood pressure, cholesterol, or diabetes, the combination with artificial sweeteners may increase side effects or further impair brain signaling. Over time, this quiet buildup of chemical stress can lead to what some neurologists call premature cognitive aging, where your mental abilities decline faster than they should. The danger is, it happens slowly, subtly, and often gets blamed on normal aging. But if you could reduce your risk of memory loss, brain fog, or even dementia by simply removing a few ingredients from your daily routine, wouldn't that be worth it? In the next section, we'll give you a gentle 7-day plan to start resetting your brain and breaking free from artificial sweeteners naturally, safely, and without willpower struggles. You don't need to quit everything overnight. In fact, the best changes happen slowly, with kindness and intention. Here's a gentle 7-day reset designed to help your brain let go of artificial sweeteners and start feeling sharper, clearer, and more balanced. Day 1, awareness. Don't change anything yet. Just take note of what you're consuming. Look at labels. Track when artificial sweeteners appear, maybe in your coffee, your yogurt, or your afternoon gum. Awareness is the first step. Day 2, one swap. Pick one item that contains an artificial sweetener, like a diet soda or sugar-free creamer. Replace it with a natural alternative. Try sparkling water with lemon or a splash of milk with cinnamon. Day 3, support your gut. Artificial sweeteners can damage your gut bacteria, so start feeding your microbiome with fiber-rich foods like chia seeds, oats, leafy greens, and plain Greek yogurt. Day 4, hydrate naturally. Many people reach for sweet drinks out of habit, not thirst. So today, drink more pure water, herbal teas, or infuse your water with cucumber or mint. It refreshes you without fooling your brain. Day 5, rediscover real sweetness. Have a bowl of fresh fruit. Slowly enjoy the natural sweetness of a ripe peach or banana. Let your taste buds reawaken. You may be surprised at how satisfying it is. Day 6, sleep support. Avoid sweeteners and screens after dinner. Give your brain a break. Instead, sip on chamomile tea. Dim the lights and read something calming. Let your brain start restoring itself. Day 7, reflection and reward. Look back. How do you feel? Are your cravings less intense? Is your sleep a little deeper? Your energy steadier? That's your brain thanking you. Celebrate this shift even if it's small. And here's the secret. You don't need perfection, just progress. Even cutting down artificial sweeteners by 50% can lead to noticeable changes in focus, energy, and emotional balance. Next, we'll answer some of the most common questions people ask about sweeteners, fruit sugars, and what to do when cravings return after 60. Let's take a moment to answer a few of the most common questions we hear from people over 60, especially those trying to make better choices for their brain. Is fruit sugar bad for my brain? No, not when it comes from whole fruits. The natural sugars in apples, berries, or bananas come packaged with fiber, antioxidants, and nutrients that actually protect your brain. Unlike refined or artificial sweeteners, fruit sugar is digested slowly and doesn't cause the same chemical stress. So yes, you can enjoy fruit, especially berries, which are rich in brain-boosting compounds. What about sugar alcohols like erythritol or xylitol? Sugar alcohols are often found in keto or low-carb products. They're not as harmful as artificial sweeteners like aspartame or sucralose, but they can still cause digestive issues, gas, bloating, discomfort, especially in older adults with sensitive guts. If you tolerate them well, small amounts may be fine, but they're not necessary for a healthy diet. You're better off using less sweetness overall. What if I still crave sweets? Cravings are normal, especially if you've used sweeteners for many years. Your brain has learned to associate sweet taste with comfort, reward, and energy. But the good news is, your taste buds can reset. Try eating more protein at breakfast, add healthy fats like avocado or nuts, and stay hydrated throughout the day. These changes stabilize your blood sugar and reduce the urge for sweet snacks. Also, pause before reaching for something sweet and ask yourself, am I hungry or just looking for a mood lift? Sometimes a short walk, deep breath, or even calling a friend can satisfy that need. Is it ever okay to have a treat? Absolutely. Life isn't about restriction, it's about balance. If you want to enjoy a slice of cake on your birthday or share dessert at a family gathering, do it mindfully, with joy, not guilt. What we're avoiding is the daily habit of artificial sweeteners, the hidden chemicals that sneak in and silently wear down your brain over time. Coming up next, we'll bring everything together and leave you with a gentle reminder that it's never too late to choose clarity, energy, and peace of mind. Now you know the truth. Artificial sweeteners aren't as harmless as they seem, especially after 60, when your brain needs more protection, not more confusion. It's not just about calories or blood sugar, it's about how your brain feels when it's fed chemicals instead of real nourishment. If you've been feeling tired, foggy, or emotionally off, and you've been using diet products daily, this could be the missing piece. The good news is your brain is incredibly resilient. Even in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, it can adapt, grow, and heal. Every time you choose something real, like a bowl of berries or a glass of herbal tea, your brain says thank you. Every time you skip that pink or yellow packet, you're reclaiming clarity, focus, and peace of mind. This isn't about being perfect, it's about being kind to yourself and giving your brain the respect it deserves. If this video helped you understand the impact of artificial sweeteners, please share it with someone you care about.